Hello, friends. We're back again. It's Fightful.com, and it's Thursday, September 22nd. It's time to talk about Impact Wrestling. It's your post-Impact Wrestling review show the night before Victory Road. As always, I'm joined. Oh, I am Joel Pearl, by the way, because apparently I never actually introduce myself at the beginning of these things, and some of y'all don't actually know who I am. I am Joel Pearl. It's good to meet you. Hi, how you doing? Let's shake our hands here. Okay, nice to see you. I'm joined as always by my lovely, talented ride or die, Cresta Starr. Cresta, how are you doing tonight?
I am actually kind of tired, and that's only because Impact wore me out tonight. It was so good that I'm like, like when you pet a cat too much and I'm like, rah, that's me. It was I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. This was a strong show tonight for Impact. I didn't know what to expect, especially given that they have a special tomorrow night. That's it's 2 weeks before Bound for Glory. There's stuff going on, but it was just a really good show, just a solid episode. So let's talk about it. There's plenty to dig into, but before we do it, I got to tell you about Fightful Select because that's why I'm here. Let's talk about it. Let me give you the Impact stuff that ran on Fightful Select this week. By the way, $5 a month. Very simple. Here we are. Grab City guys spoke with Maria Kanellis from Honor No More. They had a really great interview with her. She talked about a few Impact contracts that are coming due, and as a result, we talked about those on Select as well. That kind of plays into tonight's episode as well with some Bound for Glory matches that were made. AEW talent meetings continue to happen. We got a little bit of inside details on those. And of course, you can always check out Sour Graps with Alex Pulaski, The Weekender with Steven Jensen, The Backstage Report, and Sean Ross Sapp's Q&A, which I think might happen tomorrow, but don't quote me on it because, he just does it whenever he wants. He just goes on. He's just like live at blank o'clock. It's the Sean Ross Sapp special. Good for him, though. Anyway.
The only way to find out is to be subscribed to Fightful.com. That's right. $5 a month, Fightful.com.
Go to Fightful Select, FightfulSelect.com. That's where
I'm my apologies, Miss Guru.
It's all good. But while you're here, you can donate a super chat here at youtube.com/Fightful. If you're watching us live, hello, chat. I see you here. It's good to see you. Good to know you. M.A. Solko gets us right off the bat. Hey, Cresta, the Star, and Joel, the Pearl. I once had the Twitter handle at the Joel Pearl because the at Joel Pearl was taken by a real estate agent in Idaho, North Idaho. He and I have since connected, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Joel Pearls unite.
There are some strange similarities between us. I will tell you off the air, but there are some very cool and strange similarities. Really nice guy. If you're looking for a house up in North Idaho, Joel Pearl Realty. That's where you want to go.
Wow. Shout outs to putting over Joel Pearl. And also you being now Joel V. Pearl, you're official hottie, so
I'll take it. And if you want to be like M.A. Solko and donate a super chat, you can go into the bottom of the YouTube chat and there's a little $sign there. Just press that button. Any amount will get your question or statement read on the air. Or tell you what, I'll open up the thing. We can do the Humper Chats. Go to humperchats.com. Get your question or statement read on the air. Tell them how they do it, Ms. Cresta Starr.
Just like Joel Pearl said, you head over to humperchats.com, you put in any amount, and we'll read them live on air. And what's great about Humper Chats, we keep a little bit more of the proceeds. We're happy. Sean Ross Sapp is happy. You're happy. And we get to bring you this show more often, more Thursdays. There's only one Thursday in a week, but imagine if there was two. We'd be here because of you.
Sometimes I wish there was more than one Thursday because we run a shit ton of shows on this channel, especially on Thursdays. I don't get it. We run the Spotlight at 9:30 in the morning Eastern. We run Day After Dynamite with Will Washington at like 3 or 4 p.m. Eastern. And then we do this show. And somewhere in the middle, there's always some random thing that comes up. So we got to run another show. Thursday, stop it. Stop running shows on Thursdays. Start doing a different show. Do a Monday show. Do a Monday morning show.
Monday morning, that's everyone's sleepy.
I mean, that's a fair point. I would do the same. Anyway, let's get into it. Impact Wrestling, September 22nd. BTI will start there. George Iceman, as always, has plenty to say, except he doesn't this week because Cresta, Impact can only really go 90%. They can never go 100%. Whenever we talk about our out of 5, I feel like I can't give them 5 out of 5 because they pull shit like this, and it's always little stupid things. The Iceman intel that they ran this week on BTI was the same one they ran last week.
Listen, When he said that someone's going to be motivating them and later on in the show, that's exactly when I messaged you, as a matter of fact. When he was like, he's from across the pond, he's going to motivate, and there was a random British ad. I was like, oh, this is Joe Hendry. I was like, wait a minute. Is Joe Hendry British? Wait a minute. Didn't they play this last week?
Same one.
I still gave it a 5 out of 5. I'll ignore that. I will ignore that this time. But I'm watching you in BTI specifically.
All you got to do is pay attention. Otherwise, I'm going to start doing the George Iceman Intel of the week. I'm going to start talking into the microphone like an old-timey radio star.
I'd be with it. Live the gimmick.
I would love to do that. But the match that they ran was a good one. Hyan took on Giselle Shaw. Last week on Impact itself, Hyan took on Mickie James. So this is a great match because, for those who don't know, Mickie James is taking on Giselle Shaw at Victory Road tomorrow night. Really, really solid match from Hyan and Giselle Shaw. We know that Hyan can wrestle. We know Giselle Shaw is getting better. Did you watch the match, Cresta? And if so, what did you think of this thing?
I did watch the match. Hyan and Giselle Shaw have such great chemistry. Giselle Shaw's knees have been getting stiffer and stiffer. And I said, who's training? Claudio Castagnoli, is that you? Is she part of the BCC? Because she's been so good. And I don't know if it was just the chemistry or her improving, but these two, I would love to see another match between maybe even a 3-parter, because that was really good. What did you think of it, Joel?
I thought it was a really strong match. Hyan looks great in defeat. They gave her a lot, like Mickie James did. Has a lot of crisp and believable offense, does Hyan. Yeah. I like that. And like every time we talk about Giselle Shaw since we started the show, she continues to get better. And I love that. Like every time she's on the screen, she's maximizing her minutes. And when we talk about Giselle Shaw's promo later on, I really, really think that was another opportunity for her to break out. And I think she did a good job. End of the match was the crucifix bomb into that flash knee that finishes everybody off, does a great job. So Hyan drops it to Giselle Shaw. Giselle Shaw walks out the winner. Mickie James was on commentary for the whole thing, just kind of putting over the match, putting over Hyan, putting over Giselle Shaw. Again, I like that Mickie James is using this opportunity as the veteran who is flying her way to the top and wants to make a name for herself one last time. If she drops one match, she's out. And I like that she's doing it in a way where she's putting everyone over and doing it right.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, too, that Giselle Shaw's knee, I cannot wait until she's more seasoned and seeing some of the matches. Like, I would love to see her eventually versus like a Killer Kelly, versus a Masha Slamovich, like for real, and she goes over on her, because that was really like from BTI on tonight. Impact, you did that. You did that, Impact.
When I saw the lineup for tonight's show and I saw they're doing a ladder match.
Yeah.
They're doing a street fight. They're doing a 5-way, like a X Division 5-way, that they're going to do a tag title match between two very strong teams, and the winner, there's stakes involved, and that they're going to do a contract signing. And yeah, it's a contract signing, but it was for a very violent match. So they made it like it was going to be a good promo. They didn't do a lot of promos tonight. They did a lot of in-ring stuff. And to me, I was just taken aback that they would have gone this strong, but it was a really solid episode. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Main Impact. Digital Media ladder match starts the show. They put that title up on a big old rung on top of the ring. Brian Myers, Bhupinder Gujjar have one hell of a match.
Yes.
They call it the first ladder match to ever air on Impact on Access TV. It's really neat, but it's also very, very niche. They just looked for something to put out there.
I'm surprised they never had a ladder match before, but you know what? The stats don't lie. And if they do, I'm not looking it up.
It's the first time they've done it on Access TV. That's all that matters.
I'm not looking it up to prove I'm wrong, so I believe.
You know what? It's even funnier because it's probably not the first time that a ladder match has aired on Access TV, because I feel like the ladder match that Omega and Elgin had for New Japan, that probably aired on New Japan on Access TV at one point.
I totally forgot Michael Elgin was in New Japan.
Well, not anymore, and he's certainly not in Japan on the other promotion either. So let's move on. So the match itself with Myers and Bhupinder Gujjar, a lot of just good stuff. They do a lot of in-ring work before they finally get to the ladder. This match I felt like was really segmented well. They told a really good story in chapters. They didn't play too much with the ladders until they had to. Gujjar looked really strong thanks to Brian Myers. Again, we've talked about this. Brian Myers continues to make anyone he works with look really strong. And even though Myers got the win, and we'll talk about how we got there, this was a really, really strong showing for Bhupinder Gujjar. I'm hoping that Impact capitalizes on that.
Gujjar looked vicious here, and this is the most brutal we've seen him. That, first of all, he came out the gate hot. He was like, I want to beat you up. I care about this, but I want to beat you up. I have to look at, I wrote so many notes for this. At one point, I had to stop and just watch the match. Because once Gujjar got busted open at that point, I was like, bro, I can't. Like, there were so many good things. The stunner off the double ladders, the getting pulled off the double ladders, the tape to the double ladder. There were so many good things about this match. And Gujjar's going to be a star. And Brian Myers is doing a really good job being a jerk. I thought that Gujjar was actually going to take it off of him here. And then when he didn't, I was like, well, I'll be. But that was a really good, I'd watch it again. So run that beautiful beam footage at either Victory Road or
Bound for Glory. Let's do it.
Bound for Glory. Yeah, run it back. I'd be totally down for that.
I think if Gujjar has a strong showing in the Call Your Shot gauntlets, that would maybe be a good start for him. I don't know what's next for this story. It feels like it's over. This ladder match seemed to be like the culmination of Myers and Gujjar. And yeah, Myers won, but it feels like Gujjar is going to move up from here. One thing I loved about this match was that the only high spot, the only like from the top of the ladder spot that they really did was Myers doing a belly to back superplex.
Yeah.
Easy for me to say off of that ladder. Everything else was just like, just moves onto ladder
or push ladder or pull off. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that was really neat was and really painful was when they're finally outside, Gujjar goes for a high spot, gets taken out by Myers, and Myers picks him up, does a power bomb onto a ladder that's positioned across the stairs. Oh God, Cresta, the sound it makes.
I audibly went, it was, ooh. I mean, like, again, these two men put on, it was a really good match, but it was so good, but it's just the perfect level of violence. Not Sami Callihan, which is too high. This was just right. Yeah.
You mentioned that finish. So Gujjar gets in there alone eventually with the ladders set up. He tries to get up the ladder. Myers goes up. He low blows Bhupinder Gujjar, and then he has tape. So he grabs this tape and he tapes Bhupinder Gujjar's legs to the ladder and then climbs up over him, grabs the Digital Media Championship. Brian Myers retains in an excellent opening ladder match. I was told when this match was taped that this was really good, and it did not disappoint. I was very happy with this.
I enjoyed it. My only complaint is, again, I thought Gujjar was going to go over, but even though he didn't, I thoroughly sports entertained. And it was that match, I was like, the first two matches, like, oh, Impact going to be good tonight. So
yeah. Hot open, strong open,
yes.
Really good stuff. We go to the back. Josh Alexander, Rich Swann are hanging out, and in comes Heath. You ever notice that, like, for some reason, it seems like Heath has like a cold or a deviated septum or something's going on with that. He just sounds like he's stuffed up all the time. It's strange.
I didn't notice that.
It just sounds like
in my eye. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right. This is an audio form anyway.
No one can see me.
Yeah, that's right. How many people watch the show on YouTube? Thousands and thousands. Anyway, so Heath walks in and he apologizes again, says there's a 6-man tomorrow at Victory Road, and then they should all be on the same page for Honor No More. Then Josh is like, absolutely. He's got that open street fight that we are going to talk about a little bit later. And then Swann's like, I appreciate you taking ownership of this whole thing, and we're going to have your back in the street fight. And Heath's like, I'm a rebel and I'll do it myself. And I'm thinking to myself, seems dumb.
Bruh, to me, it was just completely like a Jedi mind trick. Guys, I'm sorry. I messed up. We should be on the same page. Yeah, but not tonight. I'm going to do it alone. You better stay in the back. Wait. You like Rich Swann made a good point. You fight one Honor No More, you fight all the Honor No More. There's always another Honor No More, like there's always another Oos. There's a million of them. So you're not gonna just face one Honor No More person, which we'll talk about later. And that was a little bizarre, but I thought it was funny because it was so bad to me. It's like, what? You know what? I'm not gonna question it. I'm still entertained. I'm sports entertained.
I don't want anyone else to join Honor No More. I just want Honor No More to figure their shit out. And they're getting closer. We're getting a little bit better.
I was actually sports entertained by them this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll talk about it when we get to the street fight. I think there was some really strong stuff there. Speaking of strong, can't say no to this. Zicky Dice with our buddy Swingman takes on Jordynne Grace. Poor Zicky Dice doesn't even get anything, doesn't get an entrance, gets 2 seconds of music. They barely even talk. Like, just here's Zicky Dice. Jordynne comes out, slaps the shit out of Zicky Dice. Deadlift German, tosses Zicky's shirt into the crowd. Grace driver, and it's over before you can slap your face with pizza. Poor Swingman. I feel bad for him.
You know what? I literally wrote in my notes, Jordynne Grace about to flex this man. And before I can finish writing that sentence, the Grace driver, that man, Zicky Dice, you played your part. You did that, Zicky Dice. You did that.
And tries his best.
He tried, listen, he said, I got to spend more time in the swinging dungeon, Daddy. Look at all them tapes.
That's right. Anyway, that's the match. Jordynne Grace wins over Zicky Dice. No shock there. Very quick match.
Yeah.
Gets Jordynne prepped for tomorrow night when she takes on Max the Impaler. Father James Mitchell has a promo where he intros Max the Impaler because, for those who don't know, those two have been working together in the NWA. James Mitchell just puts over Max and says that Jordynne is Max's next victim. Calls them the non-binary nightmare. Easy for me to say. I know that's Max the Impaler's thing, that's the tag that they use. I don't know sometimes how I feel about it as like a pro wrestling tag. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying, but I see everything as a gimmick nowadays. So if it works and it's intrinsic, let it play out.
I guess to me it's the idea of like, how is being non-binary a nightmare, or like, does the idea of being non-binary make you the nightmare? Or, and again, this isn't me clowning. Like, I'm actually curious to hear even Max's thoughts, because fly that flag, like, be as proud as you are to be the person that you are and promote that stuff. I just wonder if promoting yourself as the non-binary nightmare, what does that mean? You know what I mean?
If I had to take a stab, and it's not for me to guess or anything, but I always assume that people like seeing themselves in media. So I also follow I follow them on Twitter, and they remind me of No Face from Spirited Away, because you don't know if you're about to get beat up, but you're definitely going to get beat up. They are definitely going to beat you up. But it's like people like to see themselves. So I just take it as maybe it's inspirational. And you don't have to be one type of way to be some type of way. You know what I mean? So if they want to go out there and strangle you, you going to get this nightmare. You going to get this nightmare.
You know what? I'll take it. I think that's fair. Listen, all the power to them, because it's clearly working. And people love Max. I do too. I look at the name and I'm just like, it's a weird marketing idea. I think I'd like to hear them explain why they do it. And maybe they have, and maybe I just haven't seen that piece of information. Maybe that's some homework for me to do. M.A. Solko with a Humber chat saying Swinger trying to break up the pin by throwing the fanny pack in too late was hilarious. Yes, absolutely. Swingman can do no wrong. We know this year.
He tried his best. Remember the fanny pack gate with Tasha Steelz?
Yes. Tell you, man, y'all got to show some love to fanny packs. It's just the love is real.
Do what you got to do.
We got to do this fatal 5-way match. Black Taurus, Mia Yim, Alex Zayne, Laredo King. I have Laredo King written here, which you may as well be. And Trey Miguel. Now, I have to say this. Eventually, this interview will drop. Don't ask me when. It probably should have been this week, but let's face it, we've been busy. I interviewed Trey Miguel a few weeks ago at Greektown Wrestling in Toronto, and Trey tells a really, really fun story about working with Laredo Kid and Black Taurus, and specifically doing Laredo Kid telling him, like, you can do this spot and it's perfect for you. And like, basically the interview is just, it's perfect knowing that we have this revolver match coming. Regardless, eventually that'll come out. That's my way of teasing it before it comes out in like 2048. Anyway, a match starts with Mia Yim standing back and letting the dudes just go at it. And then she takes the dudes out for a moment, and then she gets taken out. It's a good match. It's a really strong match. It's an X Division 5-way. We get the Lucha greatness. We get all the spots. We get Mia Yim doing her thing. We have just everything. And then a shocker. Black Taurus gets the win. He gets Destination Hellhole, which I still don't love as a name for a finish. Hits it on Alex Zayne and gets the win. Black Taurus is racking him up. What did you think of the match, Cresta Starr?
I I actually predicted Black Taurus winning only because I was like, unless it's Mia Yim, but Kenny King isn't here, so I don't see why. Black Taurus has been on a winning streak, and I'm going to even go ahead and campaign and say Black Taurus might even win tomorrow night. They have been pushing him, and maybe the chaos pick, he takes it off of Speedball Mike Bailey. I really liked how I have to give Mia Yim her flowers this match because she was in there, stick and move. She would go in there, hit someone, and then get kicked and then get out. And I respect that. Everyone was going so hard. Black Taurus is becoming one of my new favorite X Division champion. You too big to be the X Division, but I'll allow it. I love it though. I love it though. Like you're a bull. You're literally a bully. You're literally a bully.
He's challenged for the X Division Championship before. I said it on the show. I reviewed this show, by the way. This was Impact Homecoming 2021, where Black Taurus took on Josh Alexander for the X Division Championship in a really friggin' good match, by the way. Go out of your ways to watch that one. Or just watch the review where I talk about it awkwardly into a camera solo for an hour and a half. Violent by Design. Speaking of awkward, I don't know how to segue this. Eric Young says they're part of the revival of violence. I mean, all those people in there, or their yellow hoodies are out there. He says the seeds, you are the seeds that will take roots, that will grow and spread and take to the wind, and that they will be everywhere and everyone. And are these people prepared? And they all say yes. And then he says, show me. And they do. This is tough to do. They do this. Oh God, this hurts to do. How do you do this? They do a V. Oh, this is painful. So my threes look like this. Okay, this is the referee three because it's very clearly three. Okay, that's fine. I can do the Bullet Club. Yeah, we can do that too. Sweet. But like, this just broke me. And for some reason, this entire group of people, they did this V sign, and they all yell, "I am violence." And Eric Young says, "Do you believe? Is this your life?" And then Eric Young and Diener beat the shit out of them violently. But they never drop the hand signal. And by the way, that's especially impressive because I can't do the damn hand signal just standing up or sitting down. What do you think of the VBD segment, Cresta?
It was definitely weird because at first I was like, okay, we did week 1. Diener's like, I'm here. And he's like, are you sure? He's like, nah, I'm here. Diener's all the way in it. He's brainwashed. He's deep. He's too deep. He's deep on the cover. Second week, everyone was getting to know each other. Now this week, everyone's on board. So when he beat them up, I was like, what is transpiring here, Eric Young? Maybe you got to break them down to build them back up. Because maybe Violent by Design is over. Maybe it is the revival of violence. Or I think that's what he called it, the revival of violence. And you want to see how real you guys are. And if you're just going to attack at will, like attack dogs or whatever. It was weird, but I was here for it. Because like you said, when they were on the floor, they were doing this. Hold on, I got to get my... I was dead. Tough. I was dead. I was weak. I was like, oh, that's funny.
And so eventually they're going to have to kind of wean down this group of people, right? Eventually there's going to have to be one, maybe two people who'd come in and are these new Violent by Design members or revival of design, whatever you want to call them. Don't know who they are. Don't know even who to pitch at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm interested. This is a renewed interest in Violent by Design, who up until this point were kind of treading water. We talked about it. Every one of them got shots at the Impact World Championship. They all lost. They all sat there and tried to make amends. And then Joe Doring had to go away. And this is, again, everyone had to reassess what's going on. And I think that they've done a good job with reassessing Violent by Design.
Yeah. Maybe they bring up someone new. I don't know how Impact does with new people, like an NXT. Maybe one of those guys in those yellow hoodies are going to be a brand new wrestler. I don't know how Impact does it, but I'd be interested to see it. I'd like to see it.
Bhupinder Gujjar, Violent by Design.
No, I don't want to see that.
Oh, well, fine.
Maclin, yes.
Graham B sends a super chat. Hey, Cresta, did you see Tej last night? Do you know Tej, Cresta Starr?
You have educated me. Okay, last week off air, when we got off air, people were saying Tej. I was like, who is Tej? And Joel was like, if Test and Edge had a baby, it'd be W. Morrissey. I came home late. I only caught like the second half of Dynamite. So I did not see Tej, but I love Tej. I mean, W. Morrissey.
You'll see Tej tomorrow night on Rampage when he's in the Golden Ticket Battle Royale.
Yes.
Pew pew. Anyway, for those who don't know, by the way, the Tej gimmick, yes, it's exactly that. If Test and Edge had a kid, it'd be W. Morrissey. The way this all came about, I'll tell you guys the story. Once upon a time, Impact would do a stream on Twitch of their weekly television. It wouldn't be on YouTube, it'd be on Twitch. And they would say, hey, go ahead and just stream the show wherever you want. You can co-stream it, show it, whatever, as long as you don't keep a VOD on Twitch, because otherwise we'll copyright strike you and take you down. Okay, so we at Fightful, we have a Twitch, by the way, twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. So we would do a live watch along every week. And whenever W. Morrissey came out, we'd be like, oh, he looks like Test and Edge had a baby. And then we just said, it's Tej. And here we are. Now he's in AEW, and every time he shows up, Tej is on my screen. Hell yeah.
I'm here for it. I live, I die, and I live again.
I live for Joe Hendry and these poorly produced, amazing promos, Cresta.
The way you feel about Mr. Swinger is the way I feel about Joe Hendry at this point.
Yes, you were messaging me about Joe Hendry, and I was like, this is amazing. So there's a couple arguing in a kitchen in the UK, because they very, very clearly recorded these in the UK before Joe Hendry made his appearance. Or he's not even here yet. Well, now he is. He was in Canada this past week doing a show. But before he officially moved over here, they did all these shots in the UK. So they're arguing, and she's like, nothing's wrong, even though she's upset. And the guy is just like, we've been together for so long. You can tell me anything. I know. And then she says, it's not yours. Apparently they have a son, and it's not this guy. And so this guy's acting is awful. He's like trying to cry, but he's not crying at all. It's just amazingly awful. And then for some reason, say his name comes up, and then say his name, as in who's the daddy. Say his name. And then they do the stupid song.
I believe in Joe Hendry. Dude, you need to believe in Joe Hendry. It's so bad, it's good. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I believe in Joe Hendry. Someone's gonna clip that.
Once again, Joe Hendry appears, as he does, because you say his name and he appears. And he has that stupid tiny boom box that we haven't seen since 1983. And he turns it on, and all of a sudden this awful color correction happens again. They clearly shot these in like potato phone iPhone 4. It's so bad. I love it.
I love it. I'm here for it. I love a good meme, and this is a meme.
So first of all, the dad has like no idea how to feel, which is hilarious. Like now he's acting. He's like singing and crying and unsure of himself. And all I'm doing here is thinking like, does that mean Joe Hendry's the father of this child?
Now that just means that you believe in Joe Hendry. Who said that?
You believe in Joe Hendry?
Bro, I cannot wait till he debuts.
Chat, I know you believe in Joe Hendry. Give us a Joe in the chat to believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joel Pearl. Oh. Send a super chat to say you believe in Joel Pearl.
I'll take it. You can donate super chat or humper chat at humperchats.com. Like Ricardo the Dream did. That spot PCO took into a sea of chairs must have sucked. Let's talk about it. Street fight. Heath puts out an open call, and out comes PCO. And I'm like, RIP Heath. And then wait a minute. All of Honor No More comes out, of course, because they're like, PCO, you're not taking this challenge. And then Edward Edwards comes out for some reason, and he's like, this match is not happening. And then Heath pushes back, and he's just like, you'd rather die a rebel than live as a coward. And then Edwards is like, no, PCO's thoughts and decisions belong to Honor No More. And then Heath basically says PCO is a bitch, calls him Eddie's lapdog. And then PCO limps down the ring, limps down the stage, and then we open up the match with a crossbody. And they don't go to the ring until the end of this match. And it includes, as Ricardo had mentioned, a spot wherein, first of all, the first four rows of the back near the stage, they cleared the fans out of there. And PCO grabs a bunch of chairs that are sitting on a stand and just throws them all willy-nilly everywhere. They brawl onto the stage, and Heath just throws PCO onto those chairs. Soft landing. Good God.
It was gross. Like I like PCO, but disgusting, bro. The first 5 minutes of that match, Heath was just beating up PCO in the ramp, and I was also thinking like, Honor No More, like y'all literally sent Vincent to reprogram PCO. PCO is literally doing your bidding. Is this not what you want? And then Eddie Edwards, how come then you didn't accept the challenge? There were so many things that I was thinking, okay, you send PCO to prove his worth. And PCO's rate when he goes out there, especially when he's prepared, is 100% up until tonight anyway. So it's like, it would make sense to send him out there. And even if you don't believe in PCO, why not send PCO to take the hit and have Heath beat him up while you guys jump him in a no DQ match? What's transpiring?
Strange. There's something going on here with this PCO gimmick. And I give him props, because this week was the first time in a little while where I've said, okay, they're starting to at least begin the actual departure of PCO from Honor No More, potentially. They come out, Honor No More does afterwards, after the PCO chair spot, to confront Heath. And then Josh Alexander, Rich Swann, they come out with chairs. Alexander goes after Richard. Swann goes after Kenny King, and they're in the OGK. Alexander hits an ankle lock on Edwards until he gets free. And then Vincent goes after Heath, because Vincent came out with PCO, and Heath hits Vincent with a wake-up call. PCO rises from the chairs. He's covered in chairs. He's a chair monster. He's perfect chair one, and he throws them into the ring. It's a good visual. It's cute. And then they do the match in the ring. Like, the street fight actually goes to the ring, Cresta, at this point.
Joel, I'm not going to gloss over the fact that you said perfect chair one. You're not going to gloss over that.
The man was made of chairs in the moment. He gets the name he gets. PCO hits a choke slam, surprisingly not on the chairs, by the way. And then he puts his glove on again, and they talk about how we did that in the Doc Gallows match, and you and I have talked about that to death. And he hits a mandible claw onto the chairs of Heath, goes for a senton, misses onto the chairs, and then Heath hits a wake-up call onto the chairs, gets the win, pins PCO. It's a bit drawn out of a match, in my opinion. They did, but there was some story built for tomorrow night's 6-man, so I don't hate it. How did you feel, Cresta? There was a lot that happened in that match that we just talked about.
So I was looking at my notes real quick, and I just happened to glance on "He's Not Human."
Yep.
That was literally PCO all this match, and I was thinking, like, again, it troubled me, this match, that Honor No More didn't interfere sooner and more. You know, after, especially, I'm sure you watched the product. You definitely seen Heath tell them, I don't need you. Don't come backstage. So whatever. I thought it was a good match. I liked it still. All things considered, I think it did push the storyline, and it really made me really question the Honor No More storyline. Before it went from, I don't care. Now I'm like, okay, but what are you doing, Eddie Edwards? You're pissing off the person who wants to step up. Are you trying to force PCO out? Is that going to cause a rift? Like, what's really transpiring? And also, Heath, are you going to join Honor No More? Like,
got it.
No, let me. Okay, so all it is interfering. And this is maybe just me with my tinfoil hat on, but all it is interfering and kind of sending with Alexander and Rich Swann, and every time they keep approaching, like, you keep interfering. Are you about to bamboozle me? Because I believe in you, Heath, but are you about to fall down the rabbit's hole and then Rhino has to beat it out of you? I don't know. I would like to see it, kind of, sort of, but not really. But if it happened, I'd be like, you know what I mean? Okay, I'm going to take off my hat. Maybe I'm talking too much.
I was promised last week that you would start wearing a tinfoil hat for these things.
I am sorry. I forgot.
Next week, Cresta Starr debuts a tinfoil hat.
Oh, I'm going to make the best tinfoil hat. I'm going to put JPC.
Oh, God, it's going to be good stuff. Anyway, what was really good stuff. And by the way, I don't disagree with you. There's room there. I feel like the Heath stuff will eventually lead to Rhino returning.
Yes.
Rhino in Honor No More could be something, but then you're just going back to, like, Heath, being
trying
upset
to
at Honor
save
No
Rhino.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they did that with, like, Violent by Design. They've done enough of that. It doesn't need to happen again. But when Rhino comes back, if he comes back, maybe they just wrote him out. But I would like to see Heath and Rhino get back together. They're just so happy together.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give him a proper tag team title run too.
Well, we're going to have proper tag team title run soon because Aussie Open, the New Japan Strong Tag Team Champions, once again, easy for me to say, took on Motor City Machine Guns. The winners of this match get the Bound for Glory tag team title shot against OGK. And presumably OGK are going to keep the tag titles for 2 weeks because, they're not defending them tomorrow night at Victory Road. Good back and forth match. Really, really solid stuff. Strong stuff. Aussie Open is the larger team. They get to throw around Motor City Machine Guns for a bit. One of my favorite spots, Cresta. You've got Mark Davis hoisting up Alex Shelley to a vertical suplex. Tags in Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher comes in. What do? They trade off Shelley while he's up in the air with his head to the floor. And they keep him up in that vertical suplex position until they finally slam him. I love silly, stupid power moves like that. And it's not even a show-off thing. Like well, it is a show-off thing, but it's like it's not impossible to believe that this could happen. Blood is rushed to the head. You're a little panicked. It's just a good, funny, silly tag team offensive move. What do you think about the match? We'll talk about it, and then we'll get to the finish.
I think it was a solid match. Almost said Machine Gun Kelly. Jesus help me.
Oh yeah, that's like Kelly instead of Killer Kelly.
Motor City Machine Guns are all. I love Chris Sabin because when the match started, all I could think of is who's wrestling dad. I love you, wrestling dad. He is so charismatic. And to your point about that spot, to me, the most demoralizing move in professional wrestling is an angle slam because all your limbs is in the air, and this is a close second.
You're just starfish.
You're just like, like that's the most demoralizing move. It may not hurt, but all your limbs is how you feel. All your limbs, and this was a close second. And even when they did the up and over, like when he had him like almost in I forgot, like almost like not an electric chair, but like the one where you yeet them, like what Lance Archer does when they flipped Sabin over. I was like, that's demoralizing.
And they've done it so many times. It's a good move in their arsenal.
It is, yeah. It's so funny for a tag team offense because besides demoralizing, it's like flapjack. So all the air is taken out of you. It's hard to get back to it. It looks believable, as the kids say, as a youth say.
Yeah. Sabin is in the Coriolis position, and he counters with a DDT, a tornado DDT, which was good. Shelley comes in, hits the facial because that's the name of the move that they do. It's called the facial. They hit the facial on Kyle Fletcher. Once again, the name is called the facial. That's the move. Skull and Bones on Mark Davis. Motor City Machine Guns will take on OGK at Bound for Glory. In this match, Cresta Starr, one person will be under Impact Wrestling contract out of the 4 men in that Bound for Glory tag team title match.
Wait, what?
Subscribe to FightfulSelect.com to find out which member of the Impact roster is a signed member in that tag team title match.
I don't know. There's a mystery to me. I'm heading over, right? Kermit the Frog.
He's the dorkiest looking one of the 4. I'll put it like that. That hair. I never understood it. Anyway, we got a super chat from Philly 76. Motor City Machine Guns and Aussie Open killed it. Motor City versus OGK should be great at Bound for Glory. Not sure who wins it, but if OGK are sticking around, I could see them winning. Well, Philly 76 just kind of took some of the wind out of my sails. Yes, OGK are not officially signed through Bound for Glory. I think that's what Maria Kanellis had told the Grapsody guys. That being said, I think if Impact wants to continue the Honor No More story in a positive way, OGK continuing to be the tag champions, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I could see that absolutely as well. Because even if they want to do something later on with Honor No More, where they're going to the way of breaking up, OGK can make the claim, well, what have you won, Eddie? What have you, like, at least Kenny King held something. We've held something. All you've done is B-rate PCO. Maybe it's you. That would be interesting because then that could also start with infighting. Well, I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. So that would be, I would think if they are staying that they would keep the belts on them. But if not, Motor City Machine Guns, you can't go wrong, baby. You can't go wrong.
It's true. By the way, Chris Sabin is the one person under Impact contract. Even Alex Shelley's on a paper appearance deal. So there you go.
I did not know that. Thank you for enlightening me. And you could be enlightened too if you subscribe to Fightful Select.
There you go. FightfulSelect.com. $5. It's easy. You get all your good news and all the podcasts you can muster. They even did like a pre-show for Grand Slam yesterday. So there you go. There's plenty. This was my favorite two segments of the show, and they both involved the Knockouts division. So let's get into this. Tasha Steelz and Savannah Evans are backstage with Gia Miller, and they announced that it's going to be Tasha Steelz versus Killer Kelly at Victory Road tomorrow night. And Tasha Steelz is like, I'm gonna hurt her. That's great, good stuff. And then they're like, she wants to play some games. We're gonna play some games. So Savannah is going to introduce Killer Kelly to their friend, the Chair. And then as they're walking down the hallway, the camera's following them as they have the backs of Savannah Evans and Tasha Steelz as they're walking down the hallway. Savannah Evans kind of drops back a little bit and she gets pulled into a side room, and Tasha Steelz doesn't realize it. And that side room comes out the other end of where Tasha Steelz is, and it's Killer Kelly sitting on that same chair saying, hey, you want to play? And Tasha Steelz is like, no, we'll play on Friday. I loved this segment, Cresta Starr.
I liked when Savannah Evans got snatched. That was a horror movie. It was quick, fast, and in a hurry. Now, I'm not gonna hold you. I want Tasha Steelz to beat up Killer Kelly. I don't know why. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I don't know. I know why. Because Tasha Steelz has been cracking me up on Twitter, and I'm biased. I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, but she's funny.
You're still allowed to have your favorites.
Okay, I want Tasha Steelz to beat up Killer Kelly because she's funny. That's my opinion.
Put it like this, Cresta, I'll put it like this, and this is no shade at Alex Pawlowski. I think he's actually friggin' wonderful at what he does. But if Alex Pawlowski can go on like a decades-long tirade last night about why Chris Jericho winning the Ring of Honor championship is like this big issue, you're okay to have your hot take about Tasha Steelz beating Killer Kelly. I think you'll be all right.
I don't think it's a lukewarm take.
That's what I'm getting at.
Well, yes, Tasha Steelz needs to beat up Killer Kelly. I know it's not going to happen, but I will be sports entertained, so I'm going to watch. I don't know how that's going to work tomorrow, flipping between SmackDown and Rampage and then Victory Road. And I'm going to work it out. I'll find a way.
I know that I got to watch 9:23 Eastern on SmackDown. I have to watch the Golden Ticket, which is late in the broadcast for Rampage. Oh, and the Darby Allin Sting tag match. Got to watch that. That opens the show, so that's fine. And then the rest will be Victory Road. I have 3 monitors in front of me, so I should be okay.
Same, and I'm just like,
there's this wonderful, if you use Chrome, a wonderful extension that allows your audio for each tab you can pan it left or right. Yeah, it's dangerous. If you're good at listening to different things, I can tune it in and out. So I use that extension quite often. It's a problem.
I can't. My ignore game is too strong. If I'm not paying attention, or especially if I don't like you, you could be like this, and this would be me.
We're heading down the home stretch. Heading down the home stretch, folks. Get your super chats in. Get your humper chats in. Giselle Shaw, she's outside. I love this promo. She puts over Mickie James, says she's had great matches. She's inspired a generation. All true. And then Giselle Shaw says tomorrow she makes the most important contribution in her career, and that's handing the torch to Giselle Shaw. Shaw says she's going to do Mickie James a favor, send her home to be a wife and mother, and then put the spotlight back where it rightfully deserves to be, on Giselle Shaw. Cresta, this was probably the best promo I've ever seen from Giselle Shaw. And to top it off, this is so small, but it's so useful. The stupid wind in her hair made it look that much more majestic because she's the quintessential diva.
Divas have the diva fan. Come on now. I love this. It was very much, I'm doing you a favor. Sorry about it. You need to retire. Very mean girl. Such a bitchy promo, but like the right amount. Very much like, thanks, Grandma, but now it's time to go to sleep. You're gonna be mommy. I was here for it. Mickie J gonna beat her up, but I was here for it.
Some good stuff. M.A. Soko with a humper chat says, why is Backstage always lit solely with red and purple floor lamps? Is Scott D'Amore doubling the venue as a haunted tour?
I mean, isn't where Rosemary and them hang out there? That place is haunted. That place is haunted.
Listen, all I got to say is if you've ever been on tour or someone who tour manages, knowing the venue in and out is so helpful for logistics, because if you need places to shoot and you need locations and you need to set up and you need to know where power is, that is like the tiniest, most helpful thing you can think of. That being said, Scott D'Amore will absolutely double his revenue if he can.
Raw Underground?
Impact Underground?
I have jokes.
Killer Kelly. You can face Killer Kelly in Impact Underground.
With Johnny Swing looking on from the shadows. Swing Dungeon Daddy. The Raw. Impact Underground is Swinger's Dungeon.
Amazing. As long as there's pizza.
Oh, there's pizza, Daddy. It's pizza.
It's always pizza, Daddy. All right, let's get to this. So early in the night, they showed Steve Maclin doing a run in a Pro Wrestling Revolver, which is Sami Callihan's promotion, the one that he runs, the ones that he owns. Good stuff. I like that they had the crossover for that, and they showed Maclin beating down Sami earlier in the night because we had the hold harmless contract signing. Cresta, if I didn't think that this triple threat match wasn't going to be the main event tomorrow night before,
yeah,
it's definitely going to be the main event tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially with the contract signing, like I get it, but I feel like, and this is just me being a little nitpicky, but if we're gonna do hold harmless agreements, contracts, Sami Callihan needs to sign one before every match, and that's sorry about it, and Eric Young too. Just say it.
But they're all just gonna try and sign it in blood. It's their thing.
I was sports entertained though. When I thought he was gonna cut his hand when he signed it with the barbed wire pen, but when he got busted open, I was like, oh, he's definitely gonna hit him with the oh, not my camera.
So Scott D'Amore is here to set it up. Says that the hold harmless is for each competitor to release impact and each other from a risk of injury, which is a real possibility in this match. Moose and Maclin show up. Sami doesn't at first. And so Moose says to Steve Maclin, you haven't been in the ring with me, but that changes at Victory Road. He brings up Macklin's ex-Marine service, says you were sleeping in foxholes, you've been through wars, but none of those things are a fraction to being in the ring with Moose. And I'm sitting there saying, I'm pretty sure this is a bit of a difference, but okay. And then Steve Maclin fires back, and he says, first of all, Moose says he's going to put Sami and Maclin through hell. That's the setup. And then Maclin says Moose is a former NFLer turned coddled prize fighter, which I thought was a great line. Says he doesn't know hell on earth. Says he hasn't experienced what Maclin has. And Maclin being this like easily set off ex-Marine kind of guy, this character, it works because there's some truth to that. And it's good stuff. And then eventually Sami Callihan comes out and he's like, I don't care about the contracts and the partnerships. Both men made a grave mistake, and Sami's the master of puppets. By the way, it's a great Metallica album. And then he says, I've got Moose and Maclin where I want them. Pulls out a barbed wire covered pen. Does Sami Callihan. And then what does Steve Maclin do? Does the old Joker trick. He grabs the other pen and just stabs Sami Callihan in the face. And so Moose and Maclin start doing the beatdown of Sami. Maclin teases is caught in the crosshairs where the guy is upside down in the turnbuckles, and then typically Maclin would go and tackle him in the corner. But Moose catches him with a spear as Maclin goes for that caught in the crosshairs move, which I thought really good stuff. Good setup. Moose then goes for a spear on Sami, which misses, goes through a table. Sami Callihan hits Moose with a Cactus Driver 97. Sami finds the contract on the outside, signs it in his blood, and here we go. We got a match tomorrow night. What do you think of the segment as we went home on Impact this week?
I do think that Steve Maclin is a great middle to this three-way feud. And I have to say, and I'm not trying to be that guy, but someone had the audacity and the unmitigated gall to have a sign that said Steve Maclin, bland wrestler. And I'm like, bro, no, he's not. Like, to me, the character is towing the line between I'm going to get this done and I'm crazy. And it's totally fine with someone who's absolutely crazy and someone who's an absolute narcissist. I agree with that prize fighting line because that's absolutely Moose's character, nail in the coffin. That's literally him. So I think him in the middle is the perfect straight guy. I really like Maclin. in this role. I think he is absolutely great. Moose is doing Moose things, which he's perfectly good at, which is bamboozle, flashy cars, whatever have you. And we already know what Sami Callihan's going to bring. He's going to cut you guys up. And himself. It's going to be bloody in that ring. But I think Maclin here is really, he's been shining since before this. And I'm really excited. I hope this builds to something like some title shot in the future relatively soon, because I am thoroughly impressed, sports entertained. And if he's bland, then I don't know if you know what flavor is. I don't know.
In that Trey Miguel interview, he comments on Moose's sneaker game, by the way, which you'll see in like 2037 or something.
I don't know anything about I'm not that girl. The last pair of sneakers I got were Gundam sneakers, so
it's all right. Trey is like, if I ever get a pair of Crocs, you know I've given up. That's how Trey Miguel feels. Just letting you all know. So Victory Road is tomorrow night. How about we go down the card real quick, give up predictions, let people know what to expect or what we would like to see. How's that?
Yes, let's do it.
Killer Kelly takes on Tasha Steelz with Savannah Evans. That was announced officially tonight. Who you got between Kelly and Steelz?
Killer Kelly, even though that's not what I want in my heart.
I hear you, and I agree with you. I think Tasha Steelz is primed to have a resurgence in the Knockouts division, but I think she's got to lose to Killer Kelly first.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Mickie James takes on Giselle Shaw. If Mickie James loses, she retires from in-ring competition. I think we can both agree that Giselle Shaw is clearly going to end Mickie James's career, right?
See ya, Mickie.
That's it. Sorry, Giselle. Mickie James probably win the match. I'm sure it'll be good because, again, Mickie has been doing a great job of putting over every opponent she's in the ring with. So
yes, and I think Giselle Shaw is going to end up looking great in defeat here, like really good.
Mm-hmm. 6-man tag match. Heath, Josh Alexander, Rich Swann take on Honor No More's Edward Edwards, Matt Taven, and Mike Bennett. This one has me thinking a lot. What do you think? There's a lot at play here.
Do you let your world champion lose, or do Honor No More cheat? I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna use my Booker T brain here.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's fair. I am going
fair.
I am going to say Josh Alexander, Rich Swann, and Heath, despite heavy cheating. Because I don't see it. It doesn't make sense to put Josh Alexander in a losing situation unless there's cheating. And even then, I don't think I might be wrong here, but I think Alexander, Swann, and Heath take this one. What do you think, Joel?
I think Edward Edwards pins Rich Swann, and then commentary says Edward Edwards just pinned a former Impact World Champion, and if he does that in 2 weeks, he will be Impact World Champion.
I can hear Ray Walt saying that. I can hear him say, okay, I changed my answer. I'm agreeing with you. I'm piggybacking. I'm changing my answer. I can hear that on commentary verbatim. I can hear that. I changed my answer. I'm agreeing with you.
Triple threat revolver match to determine the number one contender for the X Division Championship at Bound for Glory. Alex Zayne, Black Taurus, Frankie Kazarian from AEW, formerly of Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, wherever you want to call it. Kenny King, Laredo Kid, Mia Yim, Trey Miguel, Yuya Uemura from New Japan Pro Wrestling on Excursion. This is going to be a wild match in every single way, shape, and form. Who you got to become number one contender for the X Division Championship?
I said this at the top of the show, and I say it now. Taurus to Taurus, Black Taurus. Unless it's the chaos pick, is Kenny King for a maximum Honor No More jerkage. But I could see Black Taurus winning that. I could. But maximum chaos, Kenny King.
I think Kenny King pins Mia Yim.
Disgusted.
Yeah. I just think that's the way it's going to go. But we'll find out tomorrow night. For the X Division Championship at Victory Road, Mike Bailey takes on Ring of Honor's superstar promo, the best to ever do it, Delirious. Did you go and watch Delirious promos yet, Cresta? Telling you, man, 5 stars every time. Who's going to win, Speedball or Delirious from Ring of Honor, formerly Ring of Honor?
Speedball. whoever he drops, he's doing beautiful things for that title. That title, I will say the X Division title has a lot of prestige on it, no matter who has it. A lot of people carry it well. I think Speedball retains. Nothing against this young man, but Speedball has been on a tear, and if he's going to drop it to someone, it's either going to be like a oh or a ah, and if it is Kenny King, it's definitely going to be a ah, goddamn. So,
first time in a long time where an episode of Impact didn't feature Mike Bailey and was actually a really good show. Because typically when Speedball's on the card, it's a really solid show. But this week, no Mike Bailey, and it was still a very, very good episode of Impact. Absolutely. I agree with you. Mike Bailey probably going to be Delirious. It's the way I see it too.
Yeah.
But I expect a good match because Delirious can go. I think there'll be some good comedy spots too that people aren't going to expect.
I will say that when I watch Impact Wrestling, I don't ever have to worry about the in-ring work. And I'm very grateful for that. Like, watching wrestling on Thursdays has really been an oasis of Impact. I don't know if you can see, but Scott Dumont, I'm hugging you.
He can hear you. He can see you.
Call your dad. I'm about to say, call your dad.
He's always here for us.
Wait, let me call my dad, Scorpio Sky and Malcolm.
Scorp, we got you, Scorp.
Wait, did you put the bald picture together? That has to be the one for next week. Next week, we're gonna call my dad Scorpio Sky.
Do that, and then the next day I have to catch a plane. Jordynne Grace takes on Max the Impaler. Pick your poison. Masha Slamovich picked Max the Impaler with father James Mitchell. Looking forward to this match. Do you think Masha gets involved in the match, first of all? And who you got between Grace and Max the Impaler?
I have Grace, but that match is going to be something else. And I'm ready. I don't think, just from what I've seen, Masha gets involved. But I think if Grace goes over on Max, it makes Grace look wicked strong. Because I've only ever seen one match from them. And Max is a beast. And so is Jordynne. But the way they've been building Masha, and if Masha beats Grace, it looks good on everybody. So unfortunately, regrettably, I like Max. I do, but I see Grace going over, and then eventually I see Masha going over on Grace. But I want to see, that's going to be my match of the night. I want to see that.
Chad's asking who will Jordynne pick for Masha. I don't think they're doing the other way around.
I don't think they're doing the other way
around. If they do it, it'll be at the tapings at the night after Victory Road, because they're not doing anything else. But if they do, would you have Jordynne pick someone for Masha, and who would it be?
Serena Deeb.
There's no one I could think of who's actively on the roster that would work. They could bring someone in. What I don't know, Camille,
Jessica, and have Masha Slamovich beat her so bad again she turns back to Havoc.
You know what you do? You turn the tides. You bring in Abaddon. It's not going to happen. Abaddon, I think, is heading to Japan. But anyway,
why you do this? I love her.
I know, they're great. I Jordynne over Max. I think it'll be a really good match.
Yes.
Jordynne Grace talks about being a Hossette. It's on her, it's on her tights all the time. That being said, this is a Hossette fight, and it's going to be real tough. I'm excited for that one tomorrow night. And then it's Barbed Wire Massacre, the main event. Moose, Sami Callihan, and Steve Maclin. Does the groom get scarred before his big nuptials? Has he gotten married yet? I don't know yet. I don't think he's married yet.
I didn't even know. I think you're talking about Steve Maclin. I didn't even know he was engaged.
I know he's engaged to.
Who?
She's a Knockouts tag team champion, and one of them is married. So pick wisely.
Okay, that makes sense. Because if I'm not mistaken, one is vexed. So that means Deonna Purrazzo would be the lady, unless I'm wrong. Okay.
Deonna and Steve Maclin are engaged to be married. And it's soon. And I'm not speaking out of turn because they've both spoken very openly about this.
I could see that. I could see that's a big meaty couple slapping meat.
Very, very interesting that they gave Deonna the night off tomorrow. But meanwhile, they're like, hey, Maclin, go maim yourself before your wedding day. I can see Maclin just going to Moose Callihan being like, guys, not the face.
I gotta take pictures tomorrow, please.
Superficial wounds only, please. Just don't leave any marks, for the love of God. Anyway, Moose Callihan and Maclin, who wins triple threat Barbed Wire Massacre?
I'm the loser. I'm not gonna hold you. Callihan. I don't know. I honestly don't know because I can't. I'm squeamish, and the more I think about that match, my brain is saying maybe Maclin because he's the most level-headed. But Sami Callihan thrives in violence, and Moose stay losing sometimes. And this is one of those times I feel like Moose is in I'm gonna stay losing era. You know what I mean?
You have to assume that the winner of this will maybe start making a play for the world championship.
Yes.
And all three guys would be really good foils for Josh Alexander after Bound for Glory. I could see Maclin getting the win because it's time to start moving the Maclin needle and seeing if he can run in a main event and make a credible opponent for Alexander in a storyline. We know wrestling wise he's going to be great. They're going to have a good match, but I'm curious as to what a storyline between those two looks like.
Me too. And I wonder if Maclin's going to be the person to be sure, like Eddie Edwards beat it, because nobody wants to beat you up for free. I'd rather fight old boy to have a quote unquote challenge. Not saying that Eddie Edwards isn't a challenge, but I could see Maclin's motivation saying, I don't want to deal with you and all 50 million members of Honor no more. I'd rather fight just this guy. So if it means I got to, snap your ankle right quick so I can fight Alexander, I'll do it. I could see that.
We'll see tomorrow night. Victory Road is Friday night on Impact Plus. It's on YouTube Ultimate Insiders. It's everywhere you want to go find it. Just go get it. It'll be a fun show between Grand Slam Rampage, between SmackDown with God knows what goes on with that White Bunny business. There's a lot of wrestling on. Go and enjoy it. Cresta, Starr, where can people enjoy you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on the little bumper down here on Twitter at Cresta the Starr. You can also see me here Thursdays on Fightful covering the post-Impact show with the lovely Joel Pearl, and on Saturdays at Know Your News for Gaming Gone Weird. You can find all of my links on the link tree in my Twitter bio, and follow me. I tweet back. I tweet at you. You tweet at me. Joel, where can they find you?
Very easy to find. I am at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl. I'm here all the time. Let's face it, I'd never leave. Go to FightfulOverbooked.com. We have a lot of content dropping there. I host a show on Sundays at noon Eastern called Tim and Joel Call It in the Ring. It's the show you'll never find, especially during football season, because let's face it, y'all are very busy watching football, but that's okay because our hot takes are too hot for your Sundays. All right?
The day of the Lord.
I guess so. Subscribe to Fightful Select. Ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you in the next one. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy Victory Road. Cheers.
Bye.